What's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rise. We're back in my backyard doing some filming, and guess what? We have that sports car that I think a lot more people are loving. This is it. This is a 2022 Toyota Supra. But before we get into this silver bullet of a sports car, let's talk about what's going on here. Everybody, when they think Supra, when they hear Supra, when they feel Supra, they automatically think of the A80. That is that icon from the Fast and Furious franchise. But you know what? When it originally came out all the way back in 1993, it made a splash, but it wasn't like what you see today. There was a lot of competition, especially from the Japanese brands. But you know what? Some of that competition has gone to the wayside, especially when you look at vehicles like the Mazda RX-7. Now, one of the big upsets that I think a lot of people have gotten over is when this car was unveiled at the Detroit Auto Show back in 2019, people did not like the way Toyota and BMW worked together on this Supra. So much so that there were many devoted followers of the A80 that said they couldn't really see any Japanese Toyota in it. All they saw was German BMW. Well, Toyota has kept to their promise, each year making incremental changes. We got the upcoming manual transmission GR Supra. Can't wait to road through the gears on that one. But what I want to find out is the Supra the one to get? That sports car to buy that you need to just get over and just accept it for what the Supra is today? Or should you go to that German brand? And the vehicle that I'm talking about is the new redesigned M240i. So let's go ahead, let's dive into our silver Supra and find out. Right off the bat, the style, still very unique. We now have the new Nissan Z for 2023. We're gonna talk more about that when we go to Utah to road through the gears of the 6-speed. But let's continue with what we have here. So when this was unveiled, you could see how a lot of people were frustrated. One of the things I was frustrated about, that I still am, are all the non-functional vents, especially on the front corners. So of course we're gonna have to zonk those, but I do love the way they did the headlights. That multi-LED beam stack setup in there. You got your daytime running lamps and turn signals, and the way that they kind of carried the styling towards the center of the nose really shows some character. But if you think about it, if you hide this portion, it has that overall shape of the A80 Supra headlights. Now, working your way down, we have a mixed bag, non-functional and functional. So you're getting that 50-50 deal. The way they lowered the front fascia with the splitter, especially the flat black that curves up on that lower edge, definitely looks aggressive. And if you remember the concept car for this, there are some design elements there, but the overall size, very, very petite. When you come across the front nose, this is where you see a little bit more of that concept car in the center portion. You do have full functionality in this lower vent area, and you could see that with this splitter, nice large area. Steven actually ate his beef jerky, which he had for lunch, right off this splitter. So you got plenty of room. Comparing this to the new BMW, I think with the M240i, they did a great job on the grills. The one thing that I'm not in love with are the triangular vents, but one thing you can't deny, they are functional, unlike these on the far corners. Now, when you get up onto that low slung hood, I do love the body lines. So smooth. If you haven't washed one of these new Supras with a nice soapy sponge, you really can't get to admire all of the great curves. And that's one of the things that I love about the Supra, are the great body lines on it. Now, when you come around the bend, wheel and tire setup, we're still working with your same wheel and tire setup from day one. So you got 19-inch wheels, that machined polished aluminum with the gloss black, wrapped in those Michelin Pilot Super Sport tires. And then, of course, they're gonna be staggered. So up front, you got 255 on the width, 35 series sidewall. You got your 4-piston calipers with the Toyota Supra badging on it. I wish they would have went a little bit higher upgrade on the rotors. 2-piece, maybe some cross-drilled, something like that, slotted rotors. but you do have your bright red calipers. And then of course, all of the suspension tuning is specific to the Toyota Supra compared to the BMW lineup. And remember, that BMW was the Z4, but we're comparing it to the M240i. The biggest difference is going to be this is rear-wheel drive, whereas the M240i is all-wheel drive. But let's continue down the side. There's another one of those fake vents. My advice is don't look at it. If you don't look at it, it's not there. Out of sight, out of mind. Flat black on your mirror caps with the turn signals built in. One of the other things is that with the gloss black, I like the way they bring the gloss black into the A-pillar. Really helps with the overall feel of the vehicle. We got another one of those things. You could use it as a cheese grater, you could use it to file your nails, or you could use it as a fake vent. That's what it is. I wish this could have done something for the rear braking to increase that airflow, but the side sill, the way it extends down and then curves up, shows that aerodynamic efficiency, and I do love the overall design that they brought into the door. Another one of my favorite parts is going to be the fender, and the way the fender just comes out from that rear pillar. You got that low sloping roof line, and then out back, let's talk about what we got going on here. We're not talking about awesome blossom onion or anything like that. We're talking about the rear tire setup, 275. So you got a limited slip diff, a little bit more rubber to meet the road, and nice Pilot Super Sport tires. Now when we come around back, Steven's gonna swing around and just really showcase that sexy flared fender look. That is my favorite part of this Supra. I like the way they did the shape of the rear glass. You got this duckbill spoiler built in to the actual hatch, and then that Supra name. The way it pops nicely with the silver underneath the black. They did a great job on the LED taillights. And then the lower portion, this diffuser looks like it came right off of Toyota's Le Mans winning prototype racer. You got your reverse lights, multi-LED beam in that lower section, that large diffuser area, and then you're gonna have the stainless steel exhaust tips, one on each side, gonna give you a little bit of burble, gonna give you a little bit of snap, crackle, pop, like a big old bowl of Rice Krispies. But why don't we go ahead, we got the GR badge, we got the Supra. Let's pop the hood and talk horsepower numbers of this sports car. All right, guys, we got that massive hood open. You can see how the hood is also the top portion of the fenders. Underneath the hood, though, a lot of plastic. Good news is they bring a little bit of red, they bring a little bit of design, but it's still a ton of plastic. You could see the additional bracing. This was actually added a year later on the Toyota Supra. It was not originally there. Of course, you could get your Supra with the small four-banger turbocharged engine. Well, guess what? If we're comparing this to the M240i from BMW, this has a straight six turbocharged engine, just like the M240i. So what are we looking at? We're looking at 382 horsepower, 368 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a ZF 8-speed automatic. Now, the crazy thing is, even though this doesn't have all-wheel drive, 0 to 60 in about 3.8 seconds. That's only about a tenth slower than the BMW M240i. Top speed is governed to 160 miles an hour. I would love to know what the top speed actually is without it being governed. Quarter mile goes by in 12.1 seconds at 117 miles an hour. MPGs, 22 in the city, 30 on the highway. And where it really beats the BMW is weight. This only weighs 3,347 pounds. Obviously, extra weight goes to the BMW because of the all-wheel drive system. But why don't we go ahead, let's fire up this straight six turbocharged power plant and hear what kind of sound it makes. All right, guys, we're inside this 2022 Toyota Supra. I know many of you were hoping for the manual transmission one, but That media drive has not happened yet. It will be coming soon. But I thought I would take this moment to kind of, like I said, compare it to the BMW M240i. It's one of those things. You like performance? There's different ways to get your performance. And I know you're saying to yourself, well, Joe, I'm not really a BMW guy, but I do like the Supra. How much is it? MSRP for this particular one is $56,900. Let's see what you get for the money. To the black door panel. So door panel, all black material, only on the passenger side. And that's the zonk for me, is that they have two different colored door panels. More of that in a second. We got the JBL sound system. You do have some gloss black, so you are going to get some fingerprints, but I do like the soft armrest with the white contrast stitching. Door pocket is a little on the tight side, so maybe one empanada from Ybor City. You're definitely not getting a Tampa's own Cuban sandwich in there, so forget that. But one empanada going from the door panel to the dash, very BMW-esque. The stitching, the softness, obviously the infotainment system taken right from BMW. Now, the way that the interior is arranged in the M240i works out a little bit better. You just have this floating iPad-style screen, obviously navigation, Apple CarPlay, but this is all straight up BMW. Same backup camera, the sensing technology all the way around. Throw it back in a park, and then we're right back to home, and then you can select your different settings, information, whatever you need. Working your way down, more BMW. Silver start stop button I like. That's a nice little touch. The one thing that I don't understand is at $57,000 almost, heated seats, no ventilated seats. So that is definitely a zonk. I would like to see ventilated seats. You do get dual climate. See, I could set it 2 different temperatures. One says 65, one says 60. And then down below, you do get wireless charging, a 12 volt, a USB-A, and a little platform for you to put another phone on top of the phone that's charging with the wireless charging. This is going to control your ZF 8-speed automatic. Tons of carbon fiber. I do like that touch. You got your BMW iDrive controller knob, that sport button. That's all you need. One mode, sport. That's it. And then you're going to see you got some red in here. Now, this is where it's confusing because I have red on my side, you have black on your side. And that, to me, just seems a little, my OCD is a little active in the vehicle. And then we got the seats. I do like the red leather seats. Nicely done, soft material with the stitching, the silver in the back, coming all the way down, full electric assist. We got some of Steven's hardworking sweat all over this leather. And there's actually 2 different colors. There's white and there's red stitching. And of course you got those 2 cup holders. This seems like an afterthought. They were like, oh crap, we have no cup holders. Get the buzzsaw out. Get the Dremel tool out. And then they give you cup holders. And then the key fob. It's a BMW key fob with a Toyota badge on it. BMW, Toyota, Toyota, BMW. So interesting there. Another thing is headroom. So I'm 6 feet tall. Once you get inside, there's plenty of room to get a helmet on. It's just this part right here that kind of curves down. It almost acts as like a sunshade, which I guess is kind of a good thing on a sunny day. But getting in for a taller person is a little on the difficult side. But once you're in, I feel like I'm wrapped up snug as a race car bug in a rug. But why don't you come over here? I got a 2-tone steering wheel I want to show you in this Supra. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You can see how the roof line curves down a little bit. But like I said, once you're in like Flynn and you're good to go. Now, on the lower portion, you do get these very tasteful Toyota Supra sill plates, nice aluminum. And then down below, you do have a pretty decent pedal box. Obviously, BMW pedals. The one zonk is I want an aluminum dead pedal to match the other pedals. Seat controls mounted really down low, so you're gonna have to squeeze your fingers down there, but you do have 2 memory seat settings. And like I said, on the driver's side, I got red. We both have red seats, but you have a black interior, I have a red interior, so kind of cuckoo like that. Steering wheel brings it all together. We got the dark leather, the red leather. Doesn't bother me too much. The horn button, though, is not sexy. There's nothing sexy about this round horn button, so I wish they would have done something a little different. You do have plastic paddles behind the wheel to go up and down the ZF 8-speed automatic. And then the dash. I do like the unique dash in the Toyota. Very simple. Nice large tech, that's sport, that's not sport. And there's sport again. You can see the full TFT display with your LED bar graphs and a head-up display. But you know what? Let's check out the cargo area because I am dying to go on throttle in this Supra. All right, guys, let's see what kind of junk we can put in the cargo area of the Supra. One of the great things is you're actually going to get some pretty good room. Now, before Steven just dives in, I want him to showcase that behind the seats, you'll see a piece of aluminum that's not plastic, it's actual aluminum. That's strut tower bracing for the rear shock absorbers. So we're stiffening up the front and the rear of the vehicle. Underneath the security shade, you're going to be greeted to 10 cubic feet of space. You'll see where they mount the speakers. They kind of give it a nice design, almost like the wheels. They did that on purpose. And then you got plenty of room. You could easily put 32 boxes of Twinkies plus some back here. And that's what makes this not only a fun sports car to drive, but also usability. But if you're comparing it to the BMW, of course, the BMW, it does have the back seats, which are a small size, but still, you'd be surprised what you could fit there. Of course, I'll leave the link to that video review at the end of this one if you haven't seen it. And then, of course, you got an actual trunk. But you know what? It's time to put our money where the pedal is, and that's behind the driver's seat. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go on throttle in the new Supra. All right, guys, we're in the 2022 Toyota Supra, the GR Supra, comparing it to that BMW M240i. Changes for the BMW. Still waiting to get behind the manual of this Supra, but I got in sport mode and we're gonna manually shift with the paddles and see how this drives compared to the all-wheel drive, that X-Drive in the M240i. But if you're ready, I'm ready. First gear. On throttle, here we go, yeah! Nice. Good turn in. Getting good stick from those Pilot Super Sport tires. Very quick turn in, very quick. Brakes are working phenomenal. Yeah. So definitely with the windows up, it feels great in here. They still have a buffeting problem. When you roll the windows down, it gets really heavily buffeted inside with the breeze. And I think a lot of that has to do with not only the window opening, but also the side mirrors. I think aerodynamically something needs to be done to clean up the air so it doesn't get all boomy in here and crazy. But with the windows up, it just hums nicely. Now, I wish it didn't have as much pumped in sound through the speakers, but you are getting the snap, crackle, pops out back with the exhaust. Head-up display, I'm gonna zonk it because I would like to have some type of tech, some type of LED lights or something in that head-up display, some type of lights that let me know where I am in the rev range. But the turn-in is super quick. The grip levels are just unbelievable. And remember, we're talking about a car that we're putting this up against that's all-wheel drive. This is rear-wheel drive, a lot more playful, that's for sure. The car wants to dance with you, and if you got your dancing shoes on, then you're ready to rock and roll. The ZF 8-speed is a fast-shifting transmission. The one thing I don't like is when you get close to red line, it's like it gets a little hung up in the shift. But if you do it right before it, then you're good to go, whether it's up shifts or down shifts. But why don't we go ahead from a roll here? Let me drop it down to third. On throttle, here we go. Nice shift there. On the brakes. Third gear. Really holds a line well. love this section here. Super smooth. What's really great about the Supra as well is that the traction control system, if you leave it on when you're in sport, it works with you, not against you. So it's not like just cutting the power and then you're bogging and it's all herky-jerky. It actually works with you and allows you to feel more confident than just shutting it off. And of course, putting this up against an all-wheel drive car, the BMW M240i definitely feels more confidence inspiring in the twisties, but with the lighter weight of this Supra, that's where you're gaining that flickability. The way it goes quick from left to right is just phenomenal. All right, guys, here we are again, first gear. Gonna keep shifting with the paddles. Oh, that's right, here we go. Love the feedback you get through the wheel. Yeah! Those brakes, nice downshift. Look where you want to go. I tell you, it's interesting because even though this does have the 3-liter straight six, that turbocharged power plant like the M240i, there is a distinct personality in here, different from the M240i, even different from a Z4, of course. It would be interesting to see this car with a little bit more horsepower, say 425 horsepower. That would really be intense, but I'm definitely looking forward to getting behind the manual and rolling through the gears. Everything is well laid out in here, and it's super tight. I mean, the fit and finish is great. I personally love the dash. That's got to be my favorite part compared to the BMW. All right, guys. One last time for me, definitely one last time for you. If you're ready, I'm ready. Oh, that's right, here we go. Nice. I tell you, man, this thing gains speed quick. I just love it. I'm telling you, the feedback from the front end and the way the car is so balanced. Especially through the transitions. Look at that. Wow. Seats feel great, just enough bolstering. I know a lot of people are talking about feeling claustrophobic in here with the way that the roof line kind of curves down. I kind of dig it because it actually helps when the sun is in its certain spot in the sky. It really does kind of keep glare off you and stuff. But once you're in, I think it's not a problem. If you're taller than 6'2", it's gonna be tight in here, that's for sure. But the seats hold you in place nicely. All soft touch everywhere that you're putting your elbows, putting your hands. But I hope that this has been a good review of the Supra, but also talking about it compared to the M240i. It's gonna be interesting to see what this new M2 is like, and also driving the manual transmission Supra. But we got to get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a Supra second. It's been another super spectacular kind of day. Say that 10 times fast. I want to thank everybody over at Toyota USA for allowing us access to our very first ever silver Toyota Supra that we featured on the channel. But let me know what you think. Is the Supra enough of a sports car? Is it enough Toyota? Is it too much BMW? Or are you just gonna go the full BMW route with the M240i? let me know in that comment section. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raise Rides family. Definitely got to give it to Stephen Flood, Stephen Flood Photography, doing the magic, doing his thing. Give him some love in the comment section. Thank you, Stephen, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.